Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, U.S. mediated negotiations between Israel and Lebanon are expected to be launched within the next several weeks, during which Jerusalem and Beirut will discuss, among other key pressing issues, a decades-old dispute over demarcation of an agreed-upon maritime border. British Prime Minister Theresa May insists that while the United States and the United Kingdom are aligned on the necessity to confront Iran's destabilizing activities across the Middle East, Washington and London continue to differ on the means of achieving that goal. The Islamic Republic's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khomeini, emphasizes that the United States in particular and the West in general would never succeed in curtailing Iran's ballistic missile program. U.S.-backed negotiations between Israel and Lebanon are expected to be launched within the next several weeks, during which Jerusalem and Beirut will discuss, among other key pressing issues, demarcation of an agreed-upon maritime border. While no location or date have been made public as of yet, a senior Israeli official revealed that the headquarters of the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, which is located in the southern Lebanese town of Nakura, is the most likely venue for the long-anticipated bilateral dialogue. As initially noted, Washington is expected to mediate the negotiations, and a delegation led by U.S. Acting Assistant Secretary for Near Eastern Affairs David Satterfield has been engaged in shuttle diplomacy in apparent efforts to alleviate prospects of war between the two countries and establish initial parameters to resolve, among others, the years-long Israeli-Lebanese borders dispute. A U.S. State Department official declined to elaborate on Satterfield's activities, but underlined Washington's readiness to work towards solutions that are mutually agreeable to both parties. While Lebanese sources confirmed that progress has been achieved, the Lebanese Foreign Ministry did not immediately respond to TV7's request for comment. Now to a related matter, the Israeli Defense Forces have concluded Operation Northern Shield, sealing the last of a series of cross-border attack tunnels that were dug by the Lebanese-Iranian proxy Hezbollah under Israel's northern border with Lebanon. The IDF granted several journalists access to the tunnel prior to its demolition, including TV7's analyst Amir Oren, who indicated a complex engineered construct of some 80 meters deep, which is about the height of a 22-story building. IDF spokesperson Jonathan Conricus, who led the tour, noted that it was the longest and deepest attack tunnel that Hezbollah dug, with a clear aim to have the ability to surprise the IDF inside Israel.
We're standing inside a Hezbollah cross-border attack tunnel that was dug from the civilian village of Ramya, almost a kilometer away inside Lebanon, under the blue line leading into Israel at a maximum depth of 80 meters, which is like 22 stories of a building, leading into Israel. Hezbollah dug this tunnel as well as other tunnels in order to have the ability to surprise Israeli civilians and the IDF inside Israel and to attack Israel. After Operation Northern Shield, Hezbollah no longer has the ability to conduct such attacks against Israel.
Lieutenant Colonel Conricus further noted that the IDF has now completed this operation and that it is safe to say that there are no more Hezbollah cross-border attack tunnels from Lebanon into Israel. Nevertheless, a senior Israeli security source who spoke to TV7 on condition of anonymity asserted that Hezbollah may have dug additional tunnels that have yet to be uncovered. As such, Israel's security establishment continues to search for potential threats that emanate from its northern frontier, including Lebanon and Syria. While the United Nations dubbed the tunnels as a breach of UN Security Council Resolution 1701, which brought about a long-lasting ceasefire after the devastating 2006 Lebanon war, it merely called upon Lebanese authorities to implement punitive measures against Hezbollah, yet failed to bring about concrete measures to reprimand Iran's proxy for its aggressive behavior towards Israel. Now in other news, the national security advisors of the United States, Russia, and Israel are scheduled to meet in Jerusalem this month to discuss growing concerns over regional military escalation due to Iran's malign influence across the Middle East. According to a U.S. official, Washington believes Moscow may be more acquiescent than in the past to addressing Israeli and American concerns regarding the Islamic Republic, especially in Israel's northern neighbor Syria. The official, who spoke to the press on condition of anonymity, said the meeting will focus on examining potential opportunities on how to work together to get rid of the primary irritant in the Middle East, which is the Islamic Republic of Iran, and referred to the scheduled tripartite meeting in Jerusalem as an unprecedented diplomatic opportunity. Meanwhile, in London, British Prime Minister Theresa May insisted that while the United States and the United Kingdom are aligned on the necessity to confront Iran's destabilizing activities across the Middle East, Washington and London continue to differ on the means of achieving that goal. During a joint press conference with visiting U.S. President Donald Trump, the British Premier emphasized that the primary goal remains to ensure Tehran cannot acquire a nuclear weapon.
Today, we've discussed again the importance of our two nations working together to address Iran's destabilizing activity in the region and to ensure Tehran cannot acquire a nuclear weapon. Although we differ on the means of achieving that, as I've said before, the UK continues to stand by the nuclear deal. It is clear that we both want to reach the same goal.
President Trump, who reiterated on several occasions his hope of finding a way to the negotiating table with the Islamic Republic, in an apparent keen desire to avert prospects of a looming military conflagration, underscored the joint Western determination to ensure Iran never develops nuclear weapons and to force the Ayatollah regime to stop its terror-related activities.
Among the pressing threats facing our nations is the development and spread of nuclear weapons. Perhaps that's our greatest threat. The United States and the United Kingdom are determined to ensure that Iran never develops nuclear weapons and stops supporting and engaging in terrorism.
The American leader concluded a three-day visit to the United Kingdom after joining world leaders today, including British Prime Minister Theresa May and Queen Elizabeth II, for the 75th commemoration of D-Day in the southern English city of Portsmouth. Meanwhile, in Tehran, the Islamic Republic's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khomeini, insisted that the United States in particular and the West in general would never succeed in curtailing Iran's ballistic missile program. In an address to a group of his followers, the Iranian supreme leader also rebuked President Donald Trump's offer of negotiations, claiming it to be a sign of deterred weakness.
به این بازدارندگی رسیدیم. اینی هم که می‌بینید رو مسئله موشک و از این حرفا اصرار میکنن به خاطر همینه. میدانند که ما به بازدارندگی رسیدیم، به نقطه تثبیت رسیدیم، میخوان کشور را از این محروم کنن و البته هرگز نخواهند توانست.
The speech was broadcast live on Iranian state television, including the crowd's reaction, which chanted in unison, "Death to America, death to the United Kingdom, and death to Israel." Thank you for watching us. I would like to take this opportunity once again to thank all of our supporters, as your financial contributions and prayers are what makes the productions here in Jerusalem possible, as all of our productions are 100% donation-based. I'd like also to take this opportunity to encourage all of our viewers, pray for the topic specifically, as all of the topics discussed in this program directly or indirectly impact the peace of Jerusalem. So once again, from me here in Jerusalem and the team, pray for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan. Have a Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.